It's the Bulls Podcast, episode 26.
Hey, Chicago Bulls fans! It's time for your Bulls Podcast. Here are your hosts, Marcus Couch and Wyse Black.
Welcome to the Bulls Podcast, coming to you from bullspodcast.com. This is where we bring you the latest news, reviews, rants, rumors, and opinions on the players, coaches, and front office of the Chicago Bulls. My name is Marcus Couch, and with me is my co-host, Mr. Wyse Black.
Yo. What's up? What's good with all my Bull lifers out there, man? I hope everyone is out there having a great day. Happy Valentine's Day. I can't fail to mention that. I know a lot of you all are gonna have a busy weekend with your boo and all of that. So we're just spreading good vibes here on the Bulls Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. But let's get into it.
All right, we got a lot in store this episode, including post-game analysis for the Bulls versus the Memphis Grizzlies. Sort of a mixed reaction from Wyse and myself. Otto Porter Jr.'s progress report thus far as a Bull. Kris Dunn suffers a back contusion. We're going to talk about that and what his future is with the team, and some new insights on the Bobby Portis trade timeline. Come tank with us. We'll be right back after this quick timeout.
Bulls fans, remember to follow the show on social media at Bulls Podcast and at bullspodcast.com.
All right, we're back for episode number 26, and we're going to honor the number 26 Bulls players out there. Wyse, the most recent number 26 we had was Kyle Korver. Threeses. Machine Gun Korver. I never remember them calling him any of those names.
I vaguely remember Machine Gun Korver, but Threeses, I never heard that one.
No, me neither. Maybe that was his college name or something like that. Other notable Bulls players with the number 26, Shalir Hallman, 1971, and Kobe Dietrich, 1980 to 1982. Ooh. I don't remember either of those guys, but
no.
All right, Threeses it is. Okay, let's talk about post-game stuff. Bulls versus the Memphis Grizzlies. The Bulls won this game 122 to 110 with the return of Joakim Noah and Justin Holiday. It was really great to see Joe back playing in the UC again. Even Benny the Bull had a little bit of fun with Joe during the player introductions. The crowd stood up for him, as they should, when he entered the game midway through the first quarter. You can really tell he loves Chicago and he appreciates all the time that he spent here. And he missed some shots just to reminisce about the old days when he couldn't shoot either. So in terms of the game, Robin Lopez started off the game strong with 12 points in the first quarter, ending up with a season-high 25 points. But the hero of the game, Otto Porter Jr., had a career-high 37 points on 16 out of 20 shooting, 10 rebounds, and really helped control the flow of the offense. And you can really tell it's helping Lauri Markkanen because he chipped in 21 points and had 10 rebounds himself. As predicted last week, Rawle Alkins has joined the Bulls again and played tonight in garbage time in the fourth quarter right next to Antonio Blakeney. You can really tell when the game's put away, when the Trash Brothers give the game. It's the new Splash Brothers. It's the Trash Brothers. It'll be interesting to watch as the season winds down. Rawle is actually he's a dunking beast, and it'll be great just to see one jam from Rawle before the season ends. So, Wyse, what was your reaction of this game?
Man, tonight's game was absolutely brilliant for Otto Porter, man. But not just him. As you mentioned, Robin Lopez had a season high in points, and the starting point guard, Ryan Arcidiacono, had a career high in assists with 11. So, pretty much everyone in the starting lineup had a nice game. But looking at what Otto did out there was spectacular, man. His mid-range shot was crisp when he would take a dribble inside the line to create space. His shot from three was as good as it's ever been tonight, and he helped out on the boards and defensively as well. He made Garn Pax look really smart for making that trade based on his play tonight. you look at other guys like Rolo, who poured it on early to give the Bulls momentum and expose a weakness of their defense, which was inside scoring. They couldn't do anything with Robin out there. Laurie and Zach didn't need to exert too much energy on the offensive end tonight, which is a good thing as well, because now they see that they have help to rely on out there. The only sucky part about all this tonight was really the W.
That's the only thing. And then I was watching Cleveland versus the Nets, and Cleveland actually took them into triple overtime and then got blown out. So I was hoping maybe some consolation in terms of the tankathon, but this one's going to cost us a little bit in those rankings. So hopefully Phoenix might be able to pull it out today with their game that's coming up. But yeah, for the most part, this was a downer in terms of the tankathon, but great for Bulls fans and anybody who actually wants to see the team, rock. And this is a step in that right direction. And you know what? Going into the All-Star break wise, I think this one is kind of needed. If we're going to have to pause the tank for one game, I think right before the All-Star break, right before the guys get some time off, it's probably a good time to do it. So they have a good mindset coming back.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, watching Otto Porter Jr. just go out there and having a career night was a great thing to see, guys. I know that we all are down on, us taking this W. It's not looking too good for us in the tankathon right now, because you look at other teams like New York, Cleveland, those guys just look horrible. And the Bulls, although this is just one win, with us, I believe there are reports stating that for the early weeks of February, we were the number one offense in the NBA. So that's just crazy. And the Bulls look to be on a bit of an upward spiral, which doesn't help our tanking efforts. But I mean, in light, at least we did get a guy who looks like he has a little bit of promise out there.
Right. Absolutely. So not a bad game in terms of the Bulls. I mean, if this were early in the year, you and I would probably be freaking out with excitement. But just because we got our tank on, it's interesting. And, I was thinking about Joakim Noah in this game, which what Bulls player that's on the current roster actually played with Joakim Noah? Do you know?
Oh, hold up. Let me think about it. None.
Wrong.
Hold up. Cristiano
actually,
Felicio.
Yeah, that's correct.
Felicio.
The Brazilian Marshmallow had his time with Joe. Yeah. Yep. They played together for one season, and actually when Joe went down with a shoulder injury, Felicio came back, and I read some of the news reports from back then that Felicio was called up from the G League to come and drive that tank into the ground. So that's great. I think Felicio and the guys are probably really lucky to have Joe around, at least when he was here, and hopefully he went out and partied with the guys after the game.
Yeah,
he's kind of a partier.
They say that he still has his foundation here and everything like that. And Joe even said that he lives here in the summertime. So
yep,
that's really cool to hear, man. That's nice.
Yeah, and one thing that's cool about Joe and his house, he built his gym in the basement of his house, and he puts fan artwork and fan pictures, especially pictures that kids drew of him, all around his gym. I think that's pretty awesome.
That's so dope. And that's how Joakim Noah is a Bull for life. Jimmy Butler, once he got traded, his house was on the market.
Yeah, he was the Bull for a minute. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Joakim Noah, he still lives here. Says he still comes here every summer to live. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and we saw him at a game earlier this year.
He was.
Come on, man. That's our guy. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Otto Porter Jr., how the trade's working out so far, and a little bit more, all coming up right after this. Hey, most of you guys are getting the show on Apple Podcasts, also known as iTunes, but if you don't have the Bulls Podcast on your sub list yet, just go to bullspodcast.com/Apple, and it will forward you right to our iTunes listing. If you are subscribed, we would appreciate a review since it does help out with the ratings. You can give us a 5-star, 4-star, or even 1 star. But hey, man, be honest. Tell us what you like, what you don't like about the show. and help bring new listeners to the Bulls Podcast. Again, that link is bullspodcast.com/Apple to get the show on iTunes. All right, we're back, and let's talk about the Otto Porter Jr. trade and how it's going so far. You know, the Bulls have been playing some of their best basketball of this disappointing season ever since trading for Otto Porter Jr. Their floor spacing has been great in comparison to how it was before. Individuals have stepped up, and it finally looks like the team is playing with a sense of urgency. Without a single practice, a single shoot-around, Otto Porter Jr. was thrown right into the starting lineup immediately, and it's no mystery why. Man, this guy can play. In terms of actual numbers, Porter's averaging just over 18 points a game as a Bull, and that jacked up just a little bit higher today because he scored that career-high 37 points versus Memphis. So they talked to him, and here's what he said. I'm starting to understand the offense here. Going inside out, we have a lot of versatile guys that can play multiple positions and just trying to learn a majority of the plays at two different positions. My game is versatile. I can fit into any offense. I feel like I'm capable of creating or scoring in any type of way. And he's right, because so far he's played the 3, the 4, and even the 5 role. His presence opens the floor for Markkanen and Levine to do more of their damage, as even shown by tonight. Markkanen, the Bulls' lone All-Star Weekend representative, has been on a tear of late. Since January 27th, he's actually averaged almost 25 points a game and 13.5 rebounds a game. Zach scoring, same thing. He's averaged 26.8 since the new year. So Porter should have a hand in mentioning these guys in terms of what he's doing for them, and a hand in mentoring the currently injured Chandler Hutchinson, who's actually expected to return from that toe injury shortly after the All-Star break. So, Wyse, what's your impression of Otto Porter Jr. thus far?
Man, like, during the game, they flashed some stats. His 4 games since he's been a Bull, they flashed his stats across the screen. And it stated that he's averaging 22 points per game, 62% from the field, and 58% from 3. That is absolutely balling. Like, man, this is the exact way I hoped Otto would play coming over here, and he hasn't disappointed. He balled out tonight, was shooting the ball lights out, and he just plays well within the flow of the offense, meaning he isn't disrupting Lauri's or Zach's game in the process, and that is special because that's exactly what I feel like we wasn't getting out of guys like, no disrespect, but Jabari Parker, but also looking at his stats prior to tonight's game, he's been quite exceptional as well. Shooting, he dropped 18 points and 7 rebounds versus the Bucks. He had 17 points, 2 steals, and a block versus his former team in the Wizards, and 18 points on 7 of 9 shooting from the field in the win versus the Brooklyn Nets. I'd say that he fits like a glove so far. Then you look at what impact he's had on the team overall. He's a knockdown shooter from deep. He's a long defender, so he helps guard other guys on switches pretty well, especially bigs. I think he still needs work, in regards to creating shots for himself, taking the defender off the dribble and getting to the basket. But I definitely see his biggest impact has to be his floor spacing with this team. Zach and Lauri now have more room to work with when getting to the basket. Teams are respecting Otto from 3 for good reason, and it's just opening up more scoring opportunities for other guys. So it's been so far so damn good for me. I just hate the fact that he makes us a bit too good in regards to the tank. That's it.
That's true. But here, look, man, if we're not going to get the first 2 picks, we might as well ball out the rest of the year, right? If we're in a position where we're not going to tank, we might as well play. You don't think so?
No, definitely. I'm just joking around. We definitely should see how good that we can be, especially, so we can know what we have to look forward to next season. But I just really want Ja Morant, man. If we can't get Zion, I really want Ja Morant. And you look at other teams like the Phoenix Suns, New York, they really aren't trying to do anything, man. Those guys, they're cheating. They're cheating, man, because they suck. They absolutely suck. I don't even feel like the players are trying to win. So, I don't know. It just ticks me off.
I know, man. It ain't in the cards. But hey, even if we get 5th or 6th in the lottery, there is still a chance we could get that number 1 pick.
That's
it's
true.
There.
That's true. Hey, 08, Derrick Rose.
That's right. I don't know how. I forgot how many positions we jumped up, but I remember it was a lot, and we didn't have that good of a shot to get him.
Yeah,
so.
I believe we were supposed to pick 10th. We only had a 1.9% chance at the number 1 pick.
Yeah. So, yeah, right now we're at 12.5% to get that number 1. And the other 3 teams that have the worst record, which is New York, Phoenix, and Cleveland, each have a 14% shot. So it's really only, 2.5 points on us, or 1.5 on us that they got. So it's anybody's game in that top 4. I don't see exactly anybody else that might be able to sneak into that. You're looking at Atlanta, who right now we got about 6 games on them in the Tankathon.
Yeah.
But we're about 6 games up. And, man, something that shocked me is Atlanta might have 2 top 10 picks this year. Looks like Dallas's tank is on. And I don't know why they would be tanking, because they don't have any draft picks this year. They've given it to Atlanta. So Atlanta might get 2 top 10 picks or higher. So that's pretty wild. Right now, the Lakers are actually a lottery team.
Laughable. But what's going on up over there in Dallas, man? What's Luka doing? He's not balling?
He's doing good, but right now their record is 26-30.
And they're in the West too, so
yeah. So they might not have a good playoff run, but if Porzingis teams up with Luka next year, oh man, and they get they won't get any draft picks, but I'll tell you what, and I'll tell you this right now: Zion going to New York, New York's gonna do nothing. Zion going to Phoenix will do nothing. Zion going to Cleveland will do nothing. Zion coming to Chicago, that's a different story. We got some guys to build around. So you never know. It might be already in the cards by the NBA and their little games that they play. Who knows? Might happen. All right, let's talk about another thing here. But actually, we're going to talk about Kris Dunn and where he fits in with the Bulls and some stuff with the Bobby Portis trade. But we're going to do that right after this quick timeout. Hey, everybody, remember, we are a new show, and we do need your support in social media. We made it really simple to find us with some special redirect links. You can find us at Bulls Podcast on Twitter, on YouTube, on Instagram, and go to bullspodcast.com/Facebook to get tied into our Facebook group. And if you'd like to subscribe to the show, we are on Apple Podcasts at bullspodcast.com/Apple, on Stitcher, bullspodcast.com/Stitcher, and on Spotify at bullspodcast.com/Spotify. All right, Kris Dunn from Providence. Where does he fit in with the Bulls? It looks like he's injured again. This time he has a back contusion for literally getting knocked on his butt during the Bulls' loss to Milwaukee on Monday night. In the aftermath, he acknowledged he was sore, but added he was hopeful not to miss any time. But today, Jim Boylan actually pulled him from the Memphis game about 1 o'clock this afternoon after he continued to experience some lower back pain. It looks like he'll be ready to come back next week after the All-Star break. But with a night like tonight, this does bring up an interesting question. Should the Bulls look to move from Kris Dunn? Would it be better off if Dunn actually ran the second unit and instead opting for Ryan Arcidiacono to start instead, as he did today? What do you think, Wyse?
I wouldn't necessarily say that part about Ryan Arcidiacono starting over him, but I definitely could see some changes happening in the near future at point guard for the Bulls, man. Because I understand that injuries are out of our control, and of course, no one wants to be injured. But as they say in sports, availability is a skill, and it's one that Kris Dunn isn't great at right now. And it doesn't help that he's not improving much as a player either. I wouldn't say that Kris is a bad player at all, but when he is in the game, he's far too inconsistent for me. He'll put together 1 or 2 game stretch. Well, he'll look really good all around. He's even shooting the 3 a bit more now. But after that small stretch of decent play, he'll have a game like the one versus the Bucks where, yes, he got hurt, but he still played most of the game before that. And in 32 minutes, he put up 2 points on 1 of 9 shooting from the field. You know, you listen to what Pac said about the team having 4 good players, meaning guys 2 through 5, and leaving Dunn out of that equation, stating that he's still being evaluated. You know, he's going on his third I believe this is his second year with the team, but he hasn't had a noticeably great change in any part of his game. And when Pac says you're still being evaluated, you can take that to mean that you're easily disposable. The only reason he wasn't going before the deadline is because teams probably only offered low second-round picks for him and other underwhelming players. And Pax understands that he's the best option we have at point for now, but I'm sure they don't see him as the point guard of the future at this point. Backup at best.
That's true. And it depends on who we draft. I'll tell you what, right now, if we draft a point guard, Dunn will not be here.
No.
No way.
No, because I'm sure he wouldn't even go for coming off of the bench. I'm pretty sure his ego is pretty big right now.
Yeah. Imagine a Ja Morant, Derrick Rose twosome at the 1.
Having D Rose come over here and mentor him.
Yeah. God, that'd be amazing. All right, let's move on to some of the rewind details here from the Bobby Portis trade. So Bobby was interviewed when he was here Monday, and he basically said, it's been a crazy 2 weeks. On Sunday before the trade deadline, I was seeing rumors and stuff on Twitter and Instagram, so I called my agent and I asked him, hey, man, am I in trade talks? His agent immediately called Gar Forman, the GM of the Bulls, and Gar said no. It would have to be a blockbuster trade if we were getting a superstar like LeBron or KD. What? Man, if I was the agent, I'd be like, yeah, okay. But Gar said, if we got KD or LeBron, then yeah, we'd trade Bobby. But otherwise, no, we're not trading Bobby. Man, I'd trade the whole team for KD or LeBron. Are you kidding me? So Tuesday, here's what he continues. So Tuesday comes round, and I'm at a G League game, and my agent calls me, and he said he got a call from Gar and Paxson, and they were asking questions like, does Bobby really want to be here? Does Bobby love being a Bull? Is he fine with his role? This is like passing a note in school. Do you like me? Yes or no? You know what I mean?
Like, come on, man.
I've been having a good year, and I guess they were trying to see if I still wanted to be in Chicago, and obviously my answer was yes. Who doesn't want to play for the great city of Chicago? Well, I can name a bunch. Right. Who doesn't want to play at the United Center and to be a Bull? So he continues, on Wednesday, I'm thinking, I know for sure that I'm going to be a Bull after the deadline. We had a game that night, so I went through my pregame routine, got taped, put my jersey on, and sat in the locker room. Man, he was taped up, too. Jeez. 23 minutes before the game started, one of the coaches told me that our head coach, Jim Boylan, wanted to talk with me. I walked into his office, and I see Gar, Pax, and Coach Boylan. Man, we've all had this at work, haven't we? Shut the door, Marcus. They told me that they'd agreed in principle to trade me. I asked, where am I going? Then they were hesitant to say. Then they finally said, the Wizards. My heart dropped. My stomach dropped. I didn't know what to think. I went back to the locker room, and I was just hugging everybody, shaking everyone's hand. Everybody was in shock because nobody knew I was going to be traded. That wasn't even a thought anyone had considered because they loved me there. It was a crazy feeling. Then my phone started blowing up, going haywire. So I guess that's when the news dropped and everybody found out.
Man.
Dude.
Man, that is absolutely ridiculous. Like, that makes me feel so bad. Like, it's so sad, man. The NBA is cutthroat for sure. But what I don't like is the lack of transparency from guard packs. Yes, I'm going to go back to calling them guard packs. This is a guard packs move. Like, Why would you call his agent questioning whether he wanted to be here or not? All Bobby preached about was how much he loved playing in Chicago and being a Chicago Bull. He even put the bull horns on his Crazy Eyes T-shirts,
Yeah.
for Christ's sakes. Like, now,
what does that even matter anyway in the grand scheme?
Yeah.
If you're the general manager of the Bulls and you're the VP of basketball operations,
right?
Does this matter to you? Oh, you know what? I was going to trade him for this killer deal, but you know what? He wants to be a Bull. I mean, come on.
Right.
What are we talking about here?
It's so fishy, man. Like, okay, but I look at it like, the part about questioning if he's happy with his role, I guess that's fair because he turned down an offer they made, which, like I said before, I wouldn't pay a bench player large money either. But the part about them saying, it would have to be a blockbuster deal was completely underhanded and bogus. Like you just said, like a blockbuster deal. Why would you even ask whether he, was happy here or if he wanted to be a Bull if you were going to get a blockbuster deal for him? Like, that's a no-brainer. You wouldn't ask his agent anything. You just pull it. So that was just them blowing smoke. And hearing stories like this is another reason why marquee players don't even look in the direction of Chicago when it comes to signing here. They just seem like really shady dudes, man.
Yeah, this is some of the crappiest management I've ever heard. And, when you got I really think it's time to fire Garpax. I'm sorry. They did well with this Otto Porter Jr. thing to begin with, but look at what the Cubs did, right? They brought in all new management, all new guys. What happened with the Bears? They brought in all new people, right? A whole new culture, whole new coach, whole new everything. And everything turned around. Literally, literally they were able to get a blockbuster deal because of that.
Yeah, and a lot of Chicago teams are on the up and coming, except the Bulls are late to the bus. They're the only ones late, man.
Yeah, so I think it's due, man. I think if it's not going to happen during this season, I hopefully pray that this summer something goes down. I mean, I can't hesitate to think of who. I know, like, I've heard stories already that Gar has been seen at like 4 games at Murray State where Ja Morant's playing and to scout Ja Morant.
Yeah.
It's like if I'm Ja Morant and I look up there and I see fat Gar up there, like, God, I got to deal with this guy? Man.
Oh, man.
Fat Gar with no neck. I'm not trying to shame him, but geez, man. God.
Yeah, no, he just looks unpleasant, man. He's not a sight to see.
No. So anyway, this saga obviously is, this is just yet one chapter in this whole Garpax saga, but just how they treated Jabari too, man. They treated him like a dog, and he's not a dog. He's a decent player, but I just think they were stupid to sign him because we didn't have we didn't have a place for him. There was nowhere to place him, and especially thinking that he was gonna just put this square peg in a round hole and make him play 3 and make him play defense. You knew that wasn't gonna happen day one. Every reporter called them out on that. Yeah, and said, "What are you thinking?" Like at Jabari's press conference, "What are you thinking, Garpax?" And obviously, they weren't thinking.
I really hope that it worked out well. The whole Jabari Parker experience too. I definitely did. But in hindsight, we all see that what we thought would happen actually came to fruition, because I don't think any real basketball fan who really knows basketball thought that Jabari Parker could actually, really, really come in and play the 3 and like just play perfectly at the 3 position, because it was an unnatural position for him. Now, obviously, he's a quick 4 and he could do certain things that some 4s couldn't, but after a while, it was going to take its toll on Jabari, and it just showed, man. But I really think that you have to put all of that on the front office, because they really just mishandled that whole situation.
Yeah, I've seen Jabari Parker smile 2 times this year. Once was at his press conference, and the other time was when he played against the Bulls when he was with the Wizards. That's it.
Yeah.
So he was happy on day one and happy when he wasn't here anymore. That's for sure. So the saga will yet go on. All right. We are going to take a quick last break, and we'll be back to close it out right after this. And that's going to do it for episode number 26 of the Bulls podcast. Remember, you can follow Wyse Black on social media at Twitter and Instagram at radical_creator. You can find me anywhere, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and the like, all at Marcus Couch. Everything show related, you can find at Bulls Podcast. Make sure you're connected with us everywhere that we are. Also, remember, you can check out our compilation website where you can get this podcast and all the other Bulls podcasts out there over at bulls.fm. And if you forget any of these links, you can go to bullspodcast.com and look at today's show notes. Wyse, closing thoughts?
Yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you for hanging out with us for a little while. And I must say, you guys make this possible. So as I said before, guys, keep giving us your feedback and let us know what you think about the show and even some ideas that you have that would make it better. You know, this show is for the fans, so we're always open to suggestions and ideas. But as always, guys, thank you.
Yeah, and remember, we do need some iTunes reviews. So all y'all make sure that you subscribe to us in iTunes and give us a nice review. And all the reviews that we get will actually read out on the show. So Bulls fans, our magic tank number is down to just 24 more losses. This was not one of them today, but we'll take it. We are just 125 days away from the NBA draft. Until next time, thanks for listening, everyone. Go Bulls.
Go Bulls.
Hey, Bulls fans! This is your Bulls championship announcer, Ray Clay, saying, so long, everybody. Go Bulls!